Okay, we are back with David Cassidy and son Beau. As we learned before the break, you've got a new little boy there. You're a married person, of course.
My boy's son.
But here in the studio, we have a woman who she claims the two of you had a date.
Uh-oh.
It was never kept.
Honey,
Over,
anything that you hear from now on, I promise you, it's just myth, an illusion.
This was 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Yeah, her name is Linda Girolamo. Linda, where are you? Here you are. Stand up here, Linda.
Hi, Linda.
Now, this was...
I'll never forget that night in Rio.
You'd be pretty good because the date was never kept, the way I understand it, right?
Eventually, I was at a press party. I got to sit next to him. But beyond that, the rest of the date... That was the date. It was about an hour.
Was it Win a Date with David Cassidy?
Yes, it was.
Uh-huh. And was it a local radio station or something?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Bell Records.
I've been meaning to speak to that
look,
radio
there's the
station
picture.
about that date.
That's when you got to see... My God.
Which one am I? Oh, yeah.
You got the longest hair.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, was this here?
Yeah, it was in Detroit. The radio station was WKNR Keener. And you were playing at Edgewater, which is no longer there anymore.
Right. Neither is Keener.
That's true. That's very true.
Boy, you got a golden touch, David.
And
yeah, I closed most of the buildings in America. I did, however, now that you mention it, somebody mentioned this to me yesterday. Yeah, he remembers this too. I opened Pine Knob. I closed Edgewater and opened Pine Knob.
I want to know why you didn't keep the date. What happened?
It wasn't me. It was him. No, what had happened was... There was, what I was told was there was going to be... Oh, he got upset about it. So was I.
He said, you didn't do that, Dad?
There was supposed to be a limo ride, and then I was supposed to go out to dinner with them, and then go to the press party with you.
Yeah?
Well, as it turned out, my mother took me to the press party. And that was the extent of...
Oh, I heard something in the office. The limo didn't show? They got screwed up?
The limo didn't show.
Yeah.
The concert ran longer than planned. And I never got the dinner. And then...
I got some major debt here. Yeah. I can feel it.
Don't get hostile,
okay.
Linda.
So, tonight, you know I'm here in town to play at a place called Industry. Would you like to come to the show tonight?
Oh, sure.
Okay, would you like to be my guest tonight?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I'd love you to come.
Okay, Linda. There.
Thank you.
Why do stars get themselves into situations where that happens?
Well, I can only tell you that I was out on, I was working 5 days a week on the show.
Sure.
Shooting all day long from 7 until 7. At night, I would go and I would record from, let's say, 7:30. I would drive directly from there until about midnight. I'd go home, go to sleep about 1 o'clock, and get up at 6 again. So 5 hours was the most I would ever get. And on the weekends, I'd finish at 7 o'clock on Friday, fly out to whatever gig I was doing on Saturday. And so usually I'd take the red eye or go Saturday morning and fly in. There was never any time for me to ever do something like that. As much as I might have liked to have met a lot more people, I mean, you got to meet me for 2 minutes as they shuffled me in and out. I had no knowledge, of course, at the time that they were running a contest here in town to meet David Cassidy and go out with him. It was part of their own promotion to promote themselves and to get you to listen to their radio station. So I would come into town and they'd say, look, we got a bunch of winners. And I'd say, winners of what? Well, you know, they took ads on our station, and we decided we'd run this contest that you'd go out and have a date with this person. And I'd say, oh, wonderful. So I ended up being the bad guy in those situations. And sorry about that date.
She liked it.
I think I remember every single concert. And, you know, it was funny when you opened the show and said, I think I did the show a long, long time ago.
You and I know that.
You and I know that, except neither one of us can remember when or where.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sure it was a good experience, though.
Oh, thought so, Bear?
David, tell us about the woman that did land David Cassidy.
The woman that landed David Cassidy, well, she's sitting right next to you. She and I have a pretty remarkable story. My wife Sue and I met in 1973 when I was on tour. I went over to England. I had a record company at the time that was supporting the tour in England and in Europe, and I had a plane and all of that. And she was signed as a recording artist to the same label. She was living at the time in England, although American. And she was writing and doing some work over there for having her own career. And they invited her to come to my concerts at Wembley, which is the biggest place you can play over there. And it was a huge deal. I mean, it was pandemonium, chaos. And when they invited her, they said, "Do you want to come to the David Cassidy concert? It'd be really good for you." And she said, "Who's that?"
You were not a fan?
No, I didn't know who he was. I was so wrapped up in my own work that I didn't know who he was. But I went because I thought it'd be good for my career.
You're a songwriter.
Yes, I am.
You didn't know who he was?
I didn't know who he was.
No, to be fair, I had some hits over there. And
I hadn't listened to the radio in a long time. I was too busy working.
I had a couple of hits over there at the time, and it took a little longer to start launching it there. And when she came, she didn't realize that, I had a lot of teenage fans, and she was a little older than that. So unless, I guess, you were kind of geared to the television and to pop radio, it wasn't, I guess, that difficult to miss. So we went out and we dated when I would go over there. And, yeah, this is going to be easy, son.
It's really a distraction for you, isn't it?
Well, it's my own, when you hear your own son cry.
You think you got to do something.
You feel like you have to, I wish I could make it better. He didn't get a lot of sleep last night.
No.
Anyway, we dated for a while, and because of my traveling, and I was only there occasionally, but we became friends, and we kept in contact for a few years, and then she got married, and I got married, and we went off sort of in different directions, and we didn't see each other until about almost 5 years ago, I guess now. Is it?
Yeah, it's been 5 years. I tracked him down. I wondered, what happened to this person? He was really a nice guy, and I haven't heard about him, and my life's changed. I wonder how he is. I wonder how his life is. And I tracked him down, and you can take the story from there.
Well, she'd been writing. I'd been in England in the middle 80s, and she had also been there doing some writing with, we had different writing partners, but they had one time been writing partners. And I heard about her, and I said, "Where is she?" "Well, she's gone back to America." So when I got back to America, I just finished this tour. I was back in L.A. for literally a couple of days. I got a message from my attorney that she had called, and I picked up the phone and I called her, and I was in town literally one day, and said, "Can we get together and can we see each other? I haven't seen you in so long. I'd love to see you. I heard some of the stuff that you wrote." And she'd written some hits for Tina Turner and Olivia Newton-John and some people in the middle 80s, songs that I really thought were great. And I guess we'd always sort of had an attraction for one another and a fondness and a friendship that, even though we hadn't seen each other, was still there.
So how long did it take you to realize?
Well,